What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. Welcome back to Chill to Action on the Call to Action Network. It's your girl, Danielle, here with my favorite co-host, Mr. Paul Denuzio.
It's me. It's PLD. And after this morning, I can tell you I definitely don't know shit.
Thank you so much, Paul. And tonight we have a very special co-host with us tonight, Mr. Nat. Boo woo! Welcome, Nat.
Mr. NAT, you know me. Back at it like a bad habit. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. We're very excited. Super excited tonight because we have the one, the only, Mr. Brett Sheridan tonight on Chill to Action. Woo, woo, woo!
That's me. Do I do a dance? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, one of these. Should I do the worm? No, you wouldn't see that.
I thought it was Kate Mulligan on there actually for a second.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a little shout out to Kate who used. I thought that was something that you had made a mistake doing, but I think I was like, that's strange, and it stayed the whole time. But I had to return the favor to Kate.
That's
That was a super fun episode. We had a lot of fun with Kate Mulligan, and we're so glad to have Brett Sheridan on the show tonight. So, Brett, the way that we always like to start Chill to Action is always with the very first question is, why Schmodown? How did you get involved with the Schmodown?
I got involved with the Schmodown through Christian when he asked me to be on the Schmoes No Show. And actually, I wasn't really a part of the Schmodown for quite some time because he actually said the words, because I said, I should try this out. And he goes, I don't want to do that to you. He was afraid that that I would be torn apart. And then I started, and I did one in the fan league, and I lost, which was another reason for him to maybe postpone me for a little bit longer. But my actual start was doing technical stuff on some of the the traveling shows and things like that. So it was being behind the scenes, getting to meet the fans while I was being an on-camera celebrity, if you will. That's what I think we call ourselves. But yeah, doing the show is what got me into the Schmodown. Because again, I keep telling them it's a weird pitch, but when you get into it, you really get into it. It's a tough thing to explain to people.
Damn sure. We've tried explaining this to many people going on, and we always get the blank look on their face.
Yeah, he needs to create like a really concise log line for it that you can kind of go like, here's how I explain it to you, because people think they have to be fans of WWE to be into it. But you're like, no, it's like any kind of a sport. It's excitement. It's cheering on your favorite players, and it's quizzing, it's yeah. So we're still working on that. I think what are we in seventh time around on this seventh
season? Yeah.
I'll talk to him. I'll have him get it figured out. Hey,
it's Jillian Marie, C2A.
Hello.
Appreciate the show. It's true. Call back to action. We love the Den so far. We're having a lot of Den people on. I mean, that's how we roll. So damn, Kate Mulligan does look different a little bit.
Not the beard.
I told her to grow it out. It's she won't do it. But
you think she would? You would think she would have the respect for you to do that.
Yeah, right. I'm like, at least a mustache.
I can give her great mustache tips. I'll tell you that much. Oh yes, it's true. He doesn't look anything like his thumbnail. His clickbait a little bit. Jake Yakoveta did give me a couple of thumbnails to choose from, a couple of pictures to choose from, and we went with the cool looking one. We thought it would be.
Yeah, that whole intro was cooler than I'll ever look in my whole life. I think that picture was taken at my first Mardi Gras. I took a selfie with my brother. I was wearing his Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell t-shirt. I had some beads on, his shades that I stole from him and lost. This last year I lost a pair of his Dulce shades, which I didn't realize. I thought they were knockoffs. He goes, bro, those were real. I'm like, sorry, man.
In New Orleans.
Story parade in New Orleans, so
yeah,
it's gonna get lost.
Something's gonna get lost. The children weren't, and that was the most important thing.
There you go.
Fair enough. That's a question I wanted to bring up. We actually chose not to invite our super chats today because Brett does enough impressions on SEN Live. So there will be no snowboarding and no super chatting for impressions. We'll let him run his own reel. If he feels like going to one, that's on him.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I think, well, today we came up with a couple more even. Today was fun on the show, just Christian and myself. And it felt like, if you haven't checked out today's show, go check it out. It was like us in the back of the pizza kitchen, just getting goofy.
You know what?
Yeah.
Speaking of that right here.
The thing is, I didn't realize that was still going down, but I guess it is.
Are you going to be on call to action now, you know?
Yeah, we didn't get a follow-up. I'm ready for, I go, I think I'm supposed to do, why am I Southern now?
That's okay now, you know?
Maybe we are losing our minds.
We all.
Yeah, that was fun. And I don't know on Christian's part, but 100% that was a substance free.
That's the best part about it. I totally believe that, and that's what makes it awesome.
So much of my food to actually get drunk. Like that's spot on.
Yeah, there's no joke. I've been drunk with that cat before, but we definitely. It's been a long time that we've been together and gotten that silly without any substance, because of course we weren't drinking at work.
Right. Right. Oh, that's actually a question I had today, because we've been so used to SEN Live with like the whole plethora of 4 or 5 people on the table and RB3, but the difference today was it was such a different stylish show. I mean, what kind of show did you like today? Was it a different thing? Was it good for you? Would you like to do more of that occasionally? I mean, what did you feel about that?
Yeah, I liked it. I was a little nervous going into it because I was like, oh, this is going to rely on me to talk more, and the sniper, if you will. Like, I like to sit back and listen to things, but I think I don't know if it would have worked with anybody other than Christian, because we have that rapport. I mean, we've got close to 20 years of friendship, and I know his tells, like he knows mine, and we can really bounce off. And today was a really fun experiment, and I don't want anybody else to get kicked off the show, but I'd like to, if this could be something that's like a side deal, I'd totally be down to do it again, because it was really fun. And it really kind of brightened the mood of things for me, because it was just kind of like hanging out with my buddy that I haven't had like an alone time with that dude in a long time. It's always at events or, at work and things like that. We don't really hang out, socially like we used to because of the children and what have you. So.
It makes sense. I wouldn't want anybody to lose their job either. Like the big plethora of people, obviously, this time. But it was just an interesting alternate universe, so to speak.
Yeah. And I did bug him because he wanted everybody to stay home and stay safe, and I'm the closest one, and I'm like, dude, I kind of have to come in. Can you let me come in? Please, because I already got my wife lined up to take the kids. Please. And he's like, yeah, well, come on down. Let's do it. And he said, but you gotta be ready to talk. So I watched some of the stuff on the Shutter that we were pitching and stuff like that. So I did have a purpose other than just being. So.
It really was a great episode.
Mark Ellis in the chat saying the greatest thing in life is when you type in schmoes, the first one comes up is Brett and our laughing.
That was such a great moment. I whenever I see that, I die laughing myself. That was so fun. That was just one of those, like, I can't even. You had to be there, kind of a thing.
That's what the testament to the show is, that your guys' laughter is just as brightening as anything else that is. Good stuff, though.
The GIF, if you've never seen the actual episode, was. We just started doing call-ins and stuff like that, and it was like they couldn't get in, right? And so somebody called in and had no question. And I'm like, dude, you've taken all of these people's chances. And he's like, I really don't have a question. I'm like, what? Like that's what I'm saying to everything. Like he calls in, he don't even have a question. Like what? That's the whole purpose. You ruined your chance, bro.
So it's like they got there. So, but I gotta get in. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
Whoops. It's the question thing.
Step 2. There's always step 2 you lose on.
Wow. Do I live in a hotel room? See, I've just started to look over. I don't know how those guys do it when they're looking at the chats and doing their thing. I live in a hotel room. Yes, I do. I live in a hotel. A very expensive Los Angeles hotel.
That just means that your place is very well decorated.
I tried to make it look nice, and then I know my wife came in and one of her bras was laying on the bed, and she goes, "Let me move that out of the way." And it wasn't from anything fun. It was just laying there from earlier today. I guess she changed it. I wish I had a cool story about that being removed, but I do not.
Well, I can tell my wife, if I turn my camera around, you take my recliner with some of her laundry just over the back of the recliner right now. There's probably a Bob there.
Well, the lump in the corner is unfolded laundry. That was just, it was on the fly, and I thought maybe the lamp in the background, we'll throw a little bit of the lace curtain in, kind of maybe just make it. I was going to bring a salt lamp in. I was setting the room.
Nice.
Well, we are a Schmodown show. We should get into your actual interactions in the Schmodown. Your first match was in the free-for-all. The surprise. I believe Christian said that Mark Ellis ruined a little bit.
Ruined it, yeah.
You're in the chat, Mark. So how did that go down? Did he approach you saying, "Is it time to throw you in there?" And
oh yeah, he goes, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you right in at the end, and nobody's going to expect this." And then, I go, "Hey, we should play and I had some 9 Inch Nails music picked out. And he goes, "No, we're playing the Collider Live song." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I mean, it's cool." But I showed up and then I'm like, well, I was put on task to be up in the balcony running the camera, and at this theater there was no way I didn't know how I was going to go down there. And then I realized that Christian Rubacaba needed somebody to lead him down the aisle like that. I'm like, oh dude, what a perfect setup, right? I mean, I do the entire show as just kind of a mundane little job of doing all this, and I was getting high fives and stuff. It was super fun, and nobody knows I'm going to get up there and do this. They think, oh, he's just here to work. And what did he put me? It was second or third to last or something like that. And I mean, oh god, the stage when I got there, I was like, what? This isn't fun anymore. I shook everybody's hands. I said, this is just, please don't destroy me too bad. If I could have gotten one question right, that would have been cool. It would have been really nice.
But you know what? You did get your question right in your next match. That's all.
Yes.
More than one, in fact. You won.
Yeah.
11 points. Not bad.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people thought it was going to be a really low scoring game. And I will say that going back, and there's something that I think that people don't realize. If you could read the questions, I think a lot of things would register a lot more. If I would have seen which one was it? The Bond question written out.
Right.
I think I would have gotten that one. And then for some reason, when they were talking about the Omen of Damien, I couldn't get The Shining out of my head for some reason. And then if I could have looked at something and gone, I knew, but I was like, it's the kid. He's got 666 on his forehead. I can't think of this movie. It's. I understand how people that crumble under the pressure of that, because it's insanity. It's just it's you think you got it, and you don't.
I agree. That's the kind of way I learn. I don't know about anybody else. I learn the same way. When I hear the questions, if I'm reading a question, it's much easier for me to focus on it and figure it out. So when they do the live events, they don't have the question on the screen. I usually do much worse.
Yeah, right.
They are on the screen. So.
And it's funny how, going back, people were saying we should have challenged the one that said 2017 comedy. and I'm like, dude, you think I heard it wrong? I didn't, Yeah, well, I caught that. Yeah, I just didn't jump to the gun fast enough on that one.
Being gentlemanly, right?
Yes. I didn't want to do any challenges.
No, I think that, and I do think that there was enough inside of that question to understand what movie they were talking about.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I would have challenged, but that was another one where I kind of went, oh, of course. Yeah, I've seen Superbad a ton of times. Why didn't I get that?
That's true. That's why playing at home is 100 times easier, folks.
It is 100%. And also, yes. I thought I had something to add, but I don't.
Brett, during that match, you also said that you wanted to spin animated, that you wish that it would have fallen on animated. Do you feel like maybe in like in a Patreon match and an exhibition match you would do well, like in an animated match?
I would like to think so, because from 2007 to up until now, I've seen a lot of animated films. I mean, the Madagascars, I think I saw at least 20 times each with my daughter. So if I get anything that's the Madagascar films there, I think I would have done well. But then again, who knows? They could have pulled up stuff that I'd never seen. That the kids did a lot of things on repeat. Frozen, I'm golden. Frozen 2, still haven't seen it.
Yeah, now, so
we've got it. We're ready, and we just haven't gotten around to it. It's to get the kids to sit and watch a movie and find a time that's like not too late, and with they still have homework. We're out of school, but they still have to go to do online homework, and they're having teachers do actually live homework classrooms and stuff like that. So, which is good. My son was a little bummed about it, but I'm like, dude, you don't want to make this up at the end of the year. You know?
I know my schools are closed for like 3 weeks now. I'm like, you don't want to, trust me, that's not something you want to make up at the end of the year.
No, just do what you need to do, get it done. And I welcome the quarantine, if you will. I mean, I think being safe is the best thing we can do.
Absolutely. People don't understand that, but it's about just keeping people safe. That's it. I mean, you yourself aren't going to be a problem. Keep other people safe.
Yeah. So that's the way to bring it down. Anyone else growing a Corona beard? No work, no shame. I'm always got a Corona beard, bro. I once I started growing a beard, I decided I just never want to shave again. And every time I do it, I regret it.
Right? If I didn't have to do it I have to do it for my job. I haven't mentioned that earlier. But if I didn't, I would totally have my full beard because it's just such a comfortable feeling.
Oh, it's just so nice. But it gets too long. And then there's a point where my wife just goes, snip. And I did the mustache. I did the full on just no beard mustache, one of these. And I showed up. We met at my daughter's swim lessons. And she just looked at me and she goes, nope. I went home. I shaved her off. I was like, "You're right. If you don't."
I got Tim Franco for having fully shaved in 10 years or so. That's a good.
That's the best. Oh,
I'm Asian, so growing good facial hair is not an option for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll send some of my clippings next time. The face ones, not the Manscaped ones. I'll give you the face ones.
Yeah, the Manscaped, you might not want those ones, but
yeah.
Those are some great. SEN has some really good sponsors.
Right?
Fitting sponsors, right?
Yeah. I don't think there was any, and usually, I felt like when we did Schmoes Know, we got kind of some pushback on some sponsorship and stuff like that. But I think people go, yeah, that kind of that works for this, and they understand it's something we need to do. But Manscaped and the Blue Chew and everything, and the CBD, I'm still using the CBD oil. That's a great product, and I think I love that there's now with legalization we're able to test out the medicinal properties of marijuana and or the stuff. As an old guy, I'm a little bummed that I go in there looking for the stuff that doesn't make me high anymore. you walk into a shop and you got all these stations, and like at 18 I would have been like, give me the stickiest, man. And then now I'm like, what just doesn't get me high at all and helps my back.
Oh, we're getting Roca age now.
Hey man, whatever works.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Back feeling right.
So with the Den now, you went with Kate as your manager.
Yes.
How have you been meeting? Have you met with the other Den members? And I've heard some are studying together. Are you actually getting in on that now that you've won your match? You're undefeated.
I just want to keep it that way, and I don't ever want to compete again.
Retire.
There's been talk of different matches. I'm not sure who I'm going up against next. I do consciously, when I watch a film, it kind of annoys my wife a little bit, but I will IMDb and I will go through the director and the actor and something like that. And sometimes I'll just pull up certain directors and just look at their catalog just to kind of like, and it's amazing how much, if I could retain this information, I actually have seen a lot of film. It's there's a misconception about me that a lot of people, he doesn't know anything about movies and hasn't seen. I'm like, dude, I saw them when they came out and I haven't watched them since. It's like I'm 46 years old, man. I saw E.T. in the theater. Sorry, I don't remember every part about E.T.
Me too. I loved it.
I want to go back to your match with Bonnie real quick. Like, well, how confident were you in going in? Because, like, I know like you had a lot of doubters. Not me. I always believed in you. I actually picked you in fantasy. It was a real good day for me. But what was your mindset going in?
I just said to myself, I'm like, have fun with it. Realize you know more than you know, and that it all is a luck of that draw. And and God, I love Bonnie. I didn't either way that would have ended. It would have been fine with me. I wasn't going to get all aggro if she won or whatever, and I genuinely felt bad. Like, I'm like, 1 point. Oh, I'm sorry. Hugged her afterwards. It's a weird thing when you're with people that you really like, and you have to do this competition thing with them and talk smack. But I guess my character's done it in a different way. So in a more self-deprecating way, which I enjoy.
I don't know. Maybe after today you could throw in a little "you don't know shit" in there.
Yeah, I'll throw a little shit.
You got a question right? Shit. Or
can't cuss on him.
You challenge if you ever have a challenge, you can tell Mark or Christian that this is what really happens. You don't know shit.
Oh my gosh.
Well, speaking of like comedy and everything else, my first actually interaction with you, I met you briefly in New York, was when you went back into the stage. You were on Mark Ellis's show, and you were great. I never had seen you live before, and you really kicked ass. How much do you love doing stand up comparatively to like doing shows like this, for example, or like I said live?
The two, so I've done Houston and I did the New York show, and I spent both days before those shows one in my hotel room all day long and one in my sister's apartment in Brooklyn. And she's like, "Are you going to get out of bed today?" I'm like, "No, I have to study for a 10-minute set all day long." I've been out of the game for so long that it's very anxiety inducing, and but both times I felt great afterwards. But I think that there is a period in between each of them that makes me go, I don't know if I can do this regularly. And they're all at night. That's weird. Like, you're starting at 10? Who's up that late? But when I'm up there and I'm doing it, it's amazing. But I think the self-doubt and the fear of it creeps in every time I'm done with it. I'd love to do it more, in a sense, but also I don't know how practical it is and how it would work for me, other than some of these events. But I don't know. I haven't performed in front of a non-fan audience in a long time too, so I don't know there is that element of like, it's funny, or is this because people know my character on the show? So
yeah, that's true. Mark has always said that the Throwdown crowd it's a hot crowd because you know what you're getting, and
yeah.
in a way, I would say that you're damn funny anyway. So, but that's just me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Excuse me.
Oh, cover the bad part.
I don't want to corona anybody, so we're good to
Yeah.
start. So we're going to free environment. So, one thing I did want to mention: you are a very strong supporter of mental health issues.
Yes.
You've been very adamant about bringing it forward, and I really admire that because we all go through it more than we ever want to admit. But you give us someone to really look on as someone like as a public figure. Really, we can appreciate that. We can respect you. We can see what you're going through, and you make us able to do the same. Tell me how that came about for you. As far as like, was it ever difficult admitting it to you, or that time when you said, you know what, I'm going to talk about this publicly. I'm going to try to get this out in the forefront here and there.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of snuck up on me, and I didn't realize the impact it would have. I mean, the messages I get, and I will say that to a lot of people, like there were some Facebook and some messages that I didn't get to because I wasn't quite ready to, like, I didn't know, like, what am I going to tell you? I don't, like, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. And I will say to anybody that might be listening, like, hey, I appreciate it. And I've said this live on the show before, I appreciate it, but my lack of response is not because I didn't care. It's just that I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how. Some people told me some really, really like deep stuff, it took me finally realizing that I needed therapy and that I needed medication. I went through a really bad time prior to doing SEN Live, and in between the Collider Live and SEN Live was a real dark part. I spent a lot of time in bed. I dropped my kids off at school, and I'd lay around all day, and it has been cathartic to speak about it, and I think that as much as the fans say that I help them, they help me by saying that I'm helping them. I mean, it's really been a wonderful thing that we can share this all together.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think it's a show of the community. The community has grown around us as each other, as Christian has said many times. Like it's just a good overall community, and that's part of it. We're helping each other get through everything that we have to get through with the laughs. I feel like we're friends with everybody to a degree. I mean, some are closer than others, obviously.
Yeah,
here and there, but I mean, like, so I mean, that's another question. Leads to another question I had about live events. For example, you got to go to the live events. Did anything about that surprise you about like how people would react to you or come up to you in the streets or buy you drinks, like you said earlier?
Oh yeah, it's so overwhelming, and it's so something that I had gotten to the point in my career as an actor that I thought like, well, I guess this isn't happening for me. I'm not getting the auditions anymore. I'm not getting, I used to book at least a commercial a year, what do you call it? Pilot season means nothing to me. I've never participated in a pilot season. I've never been a part of that craziness of auditioning for lots of film and television. And then after like my first couple of Schmoes No Show, I'm with my kids and we were at the theater and we went to get ice cream afterwards, and somebody came up and said, "Hey, are you Mr. Wiggly from the Schmoes No Show?" And it was just like, yeah, yeah. Oh, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're really funny, man." And my kids are like, "Well, you're famous." I'm like, that was a pretty warming little moment right there. Yeah, it's overwhelming, and I think a lot of people approach me in a weird way because I've talked about it, about being uncomfortable, and what's nice is everybody's respectful of that, but also I also kind of feel bad because everybody's like, "I know you don't want to be talked to, but I just want to tell you this." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm getting better at it. I'm fine. You don't have to run away from me. I'm cool."
That's got to be super interesting. Like just thinking about the whole fan community and watching everyone, especially like on the SEN chats and everyone getting into their little quips and stuff, like instantly the "you don't know shit" became a thing. And it's so fast for something to be a thing in the community. Like, does that ever take you by surprise dealing with anything like that?
100%. And the thing that I envy with Kate is that Kate remembers people's names and has met them and know their screen names to their, like I've met all of you, and I'm like, if you put up your screen name, I'm like, who's that again? And now I see it, like, oh, that's right. So I think I could be better at that part of it, but my head's just filled with movie trivia now, so I'm sorry I don't have time to learn all your names. But yeah, it's overwhelming. It's a bigger thing than I ever thought it would be, and it's also Christian's been and Mark have been doing this for years and years and years, and I feel like somebody that's been living in a hotel room his whole life that suddenly came out and went, "What? There's internet now, and that's how people get famous."
I like that. Yeah. Hey, Brett. I'm Sean. My screen name is Sean Sullivan. Nice to meet you.
I like that. I will remember that, Sean Sullivan.
Your den mate there, who is also going to help you with Star Wars questions. Him and Jillian are going to help you with Star Wars questions. So.
Yeah, nobody's inviting me to any like practice match things. So I don't know.
Jillian, you should get on that. Jillian, you guys know that.
Yeah, invite me. I mean, I won't make it, but go ahead and. That's like parties these days. I'm not coming, but please still invite me.
It's not the height of where you are, and you get like be a little older. You want to be invited, but then but if you have an excuse not to go, you're like, that's okay too.
Yeah, it's a weird. I had FOMO in college to like I could miss. It didn't matter what kind of a final. I mean, like I had to be at every party, and now I'm just like, wait, your party starts after 7, that's when I'm in my cozies. So I don't think one of my best friends turned 40 and he had a party at a bar in the valley. I live down by LAX. It's about a 30-40 minute drive on a good day. And I go, hey man, I love you, but I'm not coming to your birthday party. This is a guy that I've known for over 20 years. And I'm like, sorry, bro. Not gonna happen.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Oh man! So
there's so many questions.
I know.
Should I go to private? Is that where I'm supposed to look at?
No, we could get there in a little bit. But
why didn't I pick up the call? Oh, that was later.
It's really odd. We have a question about some. Oh, Denny had to skip off or something. We had a question about your earlier stuff. We went through some of your doing some research for tonight. YouTube shows that you've done and other shows you've done. The Guild. I totally forgot that you were in the Guild. Like, I watched the Guild when it first came out, and I didn't make the connection until now.
I love the Guild. I never realized that you were Mr. Wiggly from the Guild. That's amazing.
That's why I have the name.
I totally didn't know. So how did that come about? Can you talk about that aspect?
Well, Mr. Wiggly was my wife's nickname for me on the show. Mm-hmm. And I was doing an interview for Knights of the Guild podcast, and they're like, do you have a Twitter? I'm like, what's a Twitter? And they're like, well, you need to set one up. I go, I'll set one up right now. And they're like, well, what should you call it? And I'm like, call it Mr. Wiggly. I mean, this thing's never going to last. Whatever. I could have gotten my own name at the time, mind you. I mean, like, this was like when nobody, I found out later Brett Sheridan got picked up, a few weeks after that or something. But so now I'm stuck with Mr. Wiggly from the Guild. And I don't know if a lot of people know my baby boy was the baby in the first ever episode of that. That was my son that was chewing on the power strip. And that's how I got involved with it, because my friend Felicia Day, who did Hey, you're back. Felicia, I knew from Acme, and like, can I borrow your kid? I'm sure. And so we're gonna put him in a cage and have him chew on a power strip. I'm like, yeah, he's a baby. What is it? That doesn't matter. He doesn't have any say in this. So yeah, but then they wrote me in the next season, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I thought that would like boost my career, but I think she was way ahead of the game when it came to web series. Like, I think that the people that know about it like were huge fans. I mean, it's on Netflix now, I think, again. I got like a $6 residual check the other day from that, but I think I would go into auditions and think like, oh yeah, people are going to know me from this, and they didn't. It was a very huge, tight-knit community. It is legendary. It totally is. I mean, I got to give it to Felicia. There's somebody who really was at the forefront of that whole thing, and I mean, to go that many seasons and to get it on Netflix and yeah, I had a lot of fun shooting that show. Some of my other friends that were part of that, Greg Benson, he does the one where I came up with Anaconda. John Voight was on Bad Movies with Greg. If you check out his, you can do, I think it's like a $5 patron to do thing for that. And then Kim Levy is a friend of mine. These are a lot of people I knew from the Acme Comedy Theater, which Christian got me started in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he beat it. He beat it after like a year or two, and I stuck with it for like 15 years.
That was
like, I'm gonna go do stand up and get my name on the wall at the Comedy Store. I'm gonna do a sketch comedy, the place that isn't the Groundlings, and nobody will ever remember.
Well, that was not when Danny brought up for the chat, right? Danny, the show you discovered that you really like, the short you discovered that you really liked. Why don't you talk us about that?
Waking Up with Brett Sheridan.
Oh, that was fun. That was
hilarious.
Yeah, that was my first one. Was with Janina Gavin Carr, who I think she's doing pretty good now.
Yeah,
I think she's doing all right, and she absolute sweetheart, absolute like ready to like get crazy with it, and that was so fun. And I wish we would have made more of those, but it was kind of one of those things where it's like, how do we make this different? I did one with Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall. I did one with Nadia Bjorlin. What was it? She's Days of Our Lives. And who else? There's a couple other kids. The Scott Thompson. I saw Scott Thompson. I went to a live show that he did recently with Claudia Dolph, who is now a Schmodown competitor. I gave him a hug and I said, "Do you remember me at all from Waking Up with Brett Sheridan?" He goes, "That's where I know you from." So that was fun.
In particular for everyone was the one with the shower one. Like, why?
Oh, yes,
the shower.
Yeah. It was just trying to reinvent that, and again, the resources for things like that. It's tough to shoot a sketch. It's a tough thing to put together, and we had the resources back then, and Acme, we tried to do this kind of Saturday Night Live kind of a thing, and I think maybe nowadays it might have picked up a little bit more than it did, but yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I had a weekly outlet. And then that went away for a while, and then Christian kind of saved me and got me back into my creative mode for a little bit, because that was a little dip in my life where I was just like, why do I still live in LA? This place sucks.
You mentioned Claudia Dolph, that's true. Mike, am I the only one who hopes that she gets traded repeatedly without ever playing?
I've talked to her about this. I was like, that would be wonderful. I want you to just bounce. And she's like, wouldn't that be great? I'll just bounce around. And yeah, I talk to Claudia regularly. Claudia, I've known from Acme days, long time. She worked with my wife. She waited tables with my wife after the fact. So we've all known Claudia for a very long time, and she's a good friend of mine.
Do you have a prediction for her in the Schmodown? How well she's going to do?
I sat next to her at the free for all, and she in my ear very quietly. We're not supposed to answer the questions, but she was getting quite a few of them. I think she's got what it takes, and I think I don't think she should be bounced around a whole time, but who knows? I mean, there are people that, like you said, when you watch it, it's different than when you get up there.
That's true.
But I support her 100%, and I hope I never have to take her on. That would be like that to an old friend like that. That would be weird.
So you'd rather face somebody you don't know, basically.
100%. Yeah, I don't. There's something about. Yeah, like wasn't there? Technically, I would have had to take on Ben.
Right.
Right.
That was what was supposed to happen, maybe.
Yeah, that was maybe going to happen, but I don't know if it's still, so it's like, do we do that because I think that's the manager's choice where like they decide, okay, well, do we want the points of either way, or do we don't want to do it this early on and wait? If it were a bigger match, like if it was a bigger match, I'd have to take him on, like when I get up to the top tier.
Yeah,
which is inevitable.
When it's you versus Dan Merle, like when you versus Dan Merle, then you're gonna
yes. I mean, I already went up against Merle and Bibiani, and we saw how that went.
I do know that Kristen said that you weren't going to take on Ben Goddard. I think that's what they had said. I mean, maybe I'm wrong with the check and correct me. I thought they decided they weren't going to have you and Ben face each other for that exact reason. For the
it changes so much. I'm just ready for the call. Like he's like, you're going to take this dude on. Oh, you're going to take this person on. Oh, you're going to. I'm like, okay, cool. And he goes, nah, changed it. I'm like, okay, whenever you tell me.
Having seen it now, is there anyone you wouldn't like to have an interaction with? Maybe face.
Who would like to go up against?
Yeah.
I think I could do well. Maybe Makuga. Maybe I think I could. Because I know he's all personality. I think sometimes, and I think I know a little bit. I mean, he knows a lot about Bad Boys, but being on the show with him, I don't know. If he, that's one. But that's again, he's another person that I think people think like from seeing us on camera and stuff like that. There's always been like this, they have a beef or whatever. But no, he texted me when I was really sick that one time. He's a good guy, so I'd bet they'd be a tough one too. But I think that would be a fun match.
I agree.
It would be legendary. It would be. That would be fun, and I think that either of us would be, not put out by the outcome of that.
Fair enough. I don't know about Darren Batten says Brett versus Guy.
That would be fun.
That would be very fun too. Debonair one. You are on the right podcast to discuss that. That's for sure.
Yes.
Army, so to speak. And we're also talking about a three-way, I guess, maybe. Yeah, that's what he said. Sean Sullivan, you and Saul, maybe, was that what I read?
Oh,
yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I am intrigued with the team matchup because I think if placed right, I think I have some old man knowledge that could be like I joke about the I know he's in another faction, but the RB3 and myself thing. I think there's a lot of things that he could pick up the slack for, and there's a lot of things that would pop out of my brain that I have stored in there somewhere deep in the whatever lobe that's carried. But,
well, it makes a lot of sense. The young man and the older man. That's down there. So.
I think that would work, and I love the guy, so I'd love to be. That's another one. If I had to go up against him, I'd be like, oh no, it's my little brother. I'm gonna get you.
If you had to be in a fashion that's not the Den, which one do you think you would choose?
Ooh, that's a is that you're trying to get me in trouble, aren't you? I don't know if I've ever thought about that because I love where I'm at, and I think Kate was the right choice because I think we have the right mindset about things and we kind of help each other out. But I can't give you an answer. I haven't really. I'm all Den, and I'm ready to, because it's so new. I don't think. Well, I could do. Yeah. Well, I love Winston too. I could drip. I could drip. All right, let's say that. We'll say.
I'll go with swag. All right. Dripping as an old man, that's a totally different.
That's a prostate issue.
All right. Well, I think it's time, Danny, to jump into this or that.
I think it is time, sir.
Okay. Well, if you've seen the show before, you know that this is this or that, where I will give Brett two options. They could be anything, really. He can ask to expand on it. He can just take it as it is, and he can answer however he'd like to answer. We'll try to be quick shots. We have some that are written just for him, and some that are standbys, as we say. And we always go through the first question we always ask in this podcast, and there's only one right answer on this one. Are you team Guy or are you team Trader?
I missed that first part. What was it?
Are you team Guy or are you team Trader?
Trader. I would definitely team Guy, right? That's the correct
answer. And now we can continue our show.
That's another thing. I don't know if I could be up against Guy because I know him, I know him off stage,
Perfect. Cam Chef, you're breaking my heart, Cam Chef. You know that.
Sorry.
But anyway, how about that? Okay. You said it before. You did Houston and you did New York as far as your stand-up went. Which stand-up set did you like doing better?
I would say the New York because I got my feet wet in Houston, and I got to kind of and believe it or not, Christian gave me some coaching, and he kind of told me to dig deep into my improv and he said, get away from your notes, you got this, and I didn't rely on that. I did have a little bit on the table there, but New York was super fun because thank you very much. That
I would agree.
Yeah, it was, and you know what was great about that? My sister was there and her friends were all there. She brought a ton of people to the show, and she's never seen me do stand up because when I was doing stand up, she was like 8, so.
Oh, nice.
I couldn't even show her videos of the stuff. It was pretty bad.
Fair enough. Okay. Some of your interviews done. I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I love seeing your interviews with Chewbacca or your interview with Darth Maul, Ray Park.
Which one do I prefer?
Which one?
Ray Park. The as fun as the Chewbacca one was, he didn't make any sounds during the actual interview, and I think that no offense to whoever up, I think that he made me he said put a pause in between, and I don't think it was necessary, and it made the comedy not hit as much because I wrote a whole script out for that. That was something, and I think they were surprised because I go and I made some touch-ups, and they gave me some notes, and they said you can't say these things, and I think that if Chewbacca could have reacted with the voice thing on command, because if you watch it, there's some weird oh, okay. Yeah. It was like we were next to each other, but it was a closed caption, or like what do they call it when the news reporters do things out on the street? It had that feel to it.
We get a little delay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's true. Okay. How about the male Schmobot, Joey the Schmobot, or the original British female Schmobot?
A lot of people are hating on the male one, aren't they? They don't like the. What I'm down for. I'm down for a new. I want something in between, or mix it up a little bit. I don't think we should stick with the same one for too long, and because I think it makes it fresh the way they mispronounce things if we get different ones too.
That's always part of the game. How to get them to say the right word.
Yeah, how to get them to say Roka right and not Rocha.
Rocha.
Yeah.
Rocha.
Roka.
Speaking of saying things right, some people call it SEN Live. Some people call it SEN Live. I've seen. What do you like better? What do you want to say?
I think SEN. That's how when we were talking about it initially, I think it was like one of the first ones we tested out. We were bouncing around the names for it and stuff like that, and that came up. I think, what did I want? I just wanted the Schmoes Entertainment Network, but then he went Schmo Down Entertainment Network. But I think it all works because I think we have managed to meld them all together. And once again, Christian's been doing this for a long time, and he knows what the hell he's doing.
True. Well, I'll put you on the spot here a little bit. Maybe Ken or not. Were there any other names that were tossed about that never hit the?
The Brett Show didn't go well. The Brett Channel.
Oh,
Okay. Shane.
I wrote that. Okay, how about CBD oil or Blue Chew?
Oh, there we're back.
We're back. Yeah.
That was Christian. Their names. Shut down.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Is
Shut
it-
it down. I got it. So I think we did get a CBD oil or a blue chew. What do you think?
Yeah, something happened. Oh, those are my two choices.
Those are your choices. Yeah.
Oh, CBD. I'll go with the CBD. I'm not quite in that. Not to brag, but I'm not quite in the blue chew age group yet. I'm.
Fair enough.
If I don't have enough drinks, I do all right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. And a question we ask all the time is a food question. Would you prefer poutine or loaded fries?
Now, poutine I've had. That's the one it's a cheese and gravy. And what is the cheese? It's a weird.
It's like cheese
It's
curd.
like a curd. Yeah. I absolutely love that. I used to get gravy fries all the time after when we go to Omaha to get to concerts. We would always stop at like a Denny's or something and get gravy fries, and that just added a whole new level. And I just had it recently. Now, loaded fries, I don't know exactly what that is. That like a taco meat or something? What's the?
Could be anything you add to it. I mean, it's actually it's a loaded question. No pun
Oh,
intended.
it is.
But yeah, like you could have bacon on it. You could have any kind of thing. You could have chili cheese fries in a way as well. It could be
See.
anything you want, to be honest.
I'm gonna go the poutine because the chili doesn't a little too much heartburn. for me with the chili.
Fair enough. Speaking of that, there's a C2A question for you: White Claw or Jameson?
I'm liking the sparklings. I am a Truly guy myself. That was the one my friends introduced me to. But I do like the white. I like that whole thing that's happening because it's better for older gents that get hangovers. But back in the day, Jameson and as a my Irish brethren would be upset if I didn't say the Jameson. So a little bit of both in moderation would be my answer to that.
There you go. Yes.
Every Monday, perhaps.
Oh, it's not the size of the can. It's just that Danny is so short and so small.
Oh, those are great because they sell the Trulies in like $3, I think, for was that a 24-ounce you got there?
Yes, it is.
Hi, so I just thought it was a regular size can. I'm just you.
Yeah. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, only had 3. She's like, they were 24 ounces. You know? It's just still 3.
Yeah, I only had 3.
Yeah, one of these, and I'm good.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, I think I got one more I can give you here. This is the last one we'll do. Anaconda John Voight impression or your drunk Brett impression? Which one do you like doing more?
I like the Anaconda one a lot. The drunk one keeps getting southern for some reason. And I think it's the music. The music kind of throws me off a little bit, that one. But I want to come up with some more stuff because both of them I'm starting to feel like, is this played out? Is this, I think Christian has a lot more impressions in his wheelhouse than I do. And today we had some fun ones. We had like just stoner guys and rednecks and, so send in some ones that you think we can try. And if we do them horribly, then that's even better.
Sometimes let's be like RB3's Luke Skywalker. Come on.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's better when it's not quite right. We'll say.
Yeah, a little off.
We got someone voting for drunk Brett all day. They're saying.
Okay. All right, Trash Panda.
Let's see. Dragon everyone. Sorry for John Voight. The episode of BM Live was amazing.
BM Live. Oh, Bad Movies.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's where I learned about it. I'd never seen that film either, and I watched it first time with him. I've done 2 of those with him. The other movie I got to pick, it was Midnight Madness. Came out in the 80s. It was actually Michael J. Fox's first film, but his name was just Michael Fox in it. Little movie trivia for you. And it was about like a treasure hunt that happened throughout Los Angeles. And it's a wonderful, horrible film.
Nice.
Electric Knight is going to vote for hearing more impressions of your French grandmother.
Hello, Lani. This is your grandma. Give me a call. I need to tell you something. Again, this is your grandma. That's the part. The grandma is the part. And then my wife always says, that doesn't sound anything like her. I do an impression of her dad. Her dad's kind of like a surfer man, you know, who grew up in Hawaii. Hey, bro, come here. You know, take me, like, first date, takes me upstairs. He goes, hey, look at that picture of that fish. I caught that fish, bro. And then just looks at me. I'm just like, oh, cool. And then just silence. Thought he was going to give me like a nice daughter speech or something. He goes, you want to hear me play ukulele? I'm like, I guess so. Can we go back down and have dinner? Or... So that's what I could do too. But my wife says that one always sounds not very. I guess I don't do my pigeon Hawaiian guy very well. No, she's not pleased with any of my impressions.
I will say Chris Adams is a good point here, and I want to throw it up there. It's a very honorable thing to say. Honoring Brett doing voice imitations reminds me of Robin Williams. That's how
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. Sometimes it's not really an impression; it's just a weird, you know. It's a way to get out some of those just goofy. You get your wiggles out, as we tell the kids. You know, just it's fun just playing around and just being silly.
You have an Elmo impression also, right?
Yeah, Elmo did that. I had to talk to my daughter every morning like this.
We would walk to preschool and she'd go, no, Daddy, Elmo.
Well, Elmo is really tired of talking like Elmo. Can Daddy talk for a little bit?
No, only Elmo.
Oh, okay. Well, did you remember your water? Can Daddy get in this conversation?
A blessing and a curse.
And I had to do that one for my sister. That's how long Elmo's been around. I went to Sesame Street Live with my sister when she was like 4 years old. And, you know, it was Elmo's show. It was Elmo's Silly Dancing. I remember this day.
Silly dancing, Elmo, silly dancing.
And I lived through that and The Little Mermaid with both my sister and my daughter in heavy rotation.
It looks like that. This one might be a new one for SCN, I guess.
No one tell the Schmobot about Elmo. I'll do Elmo. That's all right.
Yeah. New Schmobot voice, even.
Yeah. Yes. Hello. Schlong. I don't know. I want you to do an impression of John Voight. Do the entire script from Anaconda. I don't. That's not improv. You give me like 3 things, I think.
Yeah, getting more and more.
And Christian's right. Once I said, please don't make them so intricate. No.
Boom.
Be careful what you say.
Yeah, that's true, Lucas. That's 100%. Elbows 100%. And Lucas is a big schmobotter, so I have no doubt that's going to happen. They're probably gonna have you bastardize Elmo a little bit.
Yeah, he'll be doing some horrible things.
An Elmo manscaping ad, for example.
Yeah, I wonder how the manscaping folks would feel if Elmo did the ad for that one.
Yours. Don't try not to scratch your balls.
What about a drunk?
Drunk, you much sleepy. You want to go take a nap, or let's just grab him up again to let him sleep. You got to drink water. You're going to get sick in the morning.
There you go. Call him in.
Well, I'm glad we're getting previews here on Jules Action for free. Get your money and get your money worth out. I'll see you tomorrow or next time is in there. This is definitely gold. And your spot impression was good as well. So
thank you. Oh, do you think it'll be part of the schedule to come to? Have you ever thought of coming to Fiji for the schedule? I love those questions. Have you ever thought of going to Hawaii? Are you shitting me? Yes. We've thought of going to everywhere. You know,
right?
Put that in.
Yeah, well, David B sometimes is in the chat here too. So if David B, if you are out there, you may want to start like doing some Sesame Street music and getting that ready to go.
Oh, dude, didn't he do didn't Thrawn do the background for the or no? Somebody actually put the real Sesame Street music behind. I think when I did the interview with Chewbacca.
I believe there was.
But
but
what do I know? I ran into Thrawn once in the bathroom. That was a very awkward. I'm writing my screenplay for Anaconda Elmo.
Oh, you like a snake? Yeah, a snake could come my face. It would not very nice. Elmo don't like a snake coming all on your tiny face by him. I'm going to get that snake. I'm going to get Mr. Snuffleupagus to help me and Big Bird. Because I keep too big for Elmo.
I just it's good. I'm selling some more impressions. I don't have to do that. I'm like, what are you doing in there? Leave me alone.
Oh my!
You're not set up to pay Brett any sort of way.
No, you don't. This is all free. This is good. This is good. Christian's your first tries. Oh, I wish I can't go. I can't go tomorrow, but I'm going to try it again this week. We're in a tough situation. My wife works. She's executive assistant to a restaurant that she's having to take over some other jobs and things like that. So it's a balance with the kids and the kids with school. They've got to be here, and I've got to monitor them because if not, they're on YouTube watching people play with slime. Yeah, or playing Roblox and Minecraft.
What is that? They watch people playing games. That's so.
My daughter has been watching people. Like her first thing was watching people open up, like Play-Doh packages and talk about. And then there was this one lady she watched that would play with dolls, and it would be like, "What are you doing here, Elsa?" Well, I'm Spider-Man. Spider-Man's not frozen. Oh, yeah, I am. And she's got like 14 million followers, and these things get like millions of views. And here we're all like, hey, trying to put out some content. I was doing sketch at the time, writing things, and she's just going like this with a Barbie and lives in a mansion. I don't get it. They watch these satisfying videos of things, just people like cutting things with a hot knife and stuff. I'm like, what? Why did I ever try to do anything with talent? Why didn't I just get a big compressor that I could smash watermelons with and
YouTube sensation.
And I just have to address this for myself. No, Kaiser, I am not drinking prune juice. I have my Jameson bottle. You know better than that. How dare you? How dare you?
I'm thankful. I stocked up on my psyllium husk. I don't need the prune juice. That one isn't really the Metamucil's not flying off the shelf right now. But,
fair enough. Nice pod with AJ Lancaster. As good as this is, want to say his favorite character is you.
Thank you.
Every time you laugh, inspiring.
Oh, Nebraska comedian.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's nice. My buddy that lived out here, Brad Stewart, does a lot of comedy in Lincoln, I believe. I always forget where he lives. That's good. He's my best friends forever, and I can't remember if he lives in Omaha or Lincoln. Good friend.
Oh boy,
that's what Facebook's for.
Absolutely. Okay, Dan.
People making a ruckus. My daughter said beforehand, she goes, I get to come in for the first part of it, right? And can I do a little bit or something like that? I'm like, no, go to bed. She's been planning it out. She's got a talent manager now, and she's having auditions and callbacks, and she's getting a little cocky. I need to knock her down a few notches. She's like, I told you I get that callback, Daddy. Well, I drove for 3 hours.
I keep it real a little bit. Oh boy. Let's say hi, buddy.
Brett, is your daughter on TikTok?
She does do the TikTok, yeah. And it was one of these things where we she first started it, and this is the thing with being a parent that doesn't really pay attention to like how all these new apps and things work. Like I had to go, oh shit, you're public. You know, I had to get her on a private, and then luckily she didn't have anybody else, and now she's like private on there, you know, and it's just like her friends and things like that. But like, you got to watch out. Like even with iPads, I'm like, oh, it's just a mini TV. And now I don't think she has a very good attention span because she's watched all these YouTube videos that are like this, and it goes to the next one. Nothing against Tube. This is an hour we're all discussing things. It has a length to it, a beginning, middle, and end. It's all perfectly put together. But opening up a Play-Doh thing for 30 seconds to me seems like it's creating some attention span issues.
I don't disagree, man. I could do the same way. It's little bits and pieces, and I don't get it. But I know I'm overdue, so maybe you out there can tell us why this works this way.
Why is it? Yeah.
Jenny, you're younger than we are. Do you have any idea?
No.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
When did you have a cell phone? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna ask you how old you are or anything, but did you get one at a young age? Was that a
No. I was I'm a little bit older, on the older side. No, I got my first cell phone when I was about 16 years old, something like that.
Oh wow. Okay. See, I got my son his earlier than I anticipated, but it's just because I destroyed mine, and there was a plan where if I got a new line, I got a new phone, and then I gave him a broken one that I had, or one with a crack. So, you know, I'm a good dad. But yeah, I would, and he was 12. Just started middle school. Pager. Yeah. I had a pager. Oh, I had a fancy one that would write out what people said. Yeah.
Back when they weren't for drug dealers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think back then, just to give people a little idea of the pager days, people used 911 a little too loose. I got some 911 pages that were not like, we're out of milk. No, not a 911 thing. Didn't need to pull to the side of the road for that one. You know,
I can follow that up because I actually work as a 911 dispatcher, so I get those actual 911 calls that are exactly the same type of thing. Like, the Subway didn't put on enough condiments on my sandwich. I'm like, this is what you're calling 911 for.
Not the way to use it. No.
Use it. I'm sorry. I got to put. I'm talking to somebody who sent me a cardiac arrest, so I'll get back to you in a couple seconds.
About Taco Bell being out of chalupas. I will. No, I know this is a big deal. But
different kind of emergency, still an emergency. I get it, but not quite at the same level. You know what I'm saying? Well, guys, I think we should start asking the chat for questions at this point. While we start
hanging around, I feel like I haven't. It's just this off to the side.
We try to save the chat things till the end because like people start throwing questions in there. But now then we'd have a dedicated area for chat things, and we can plug our little spaces while we're waiting. Danny, do you want to talk about things this week? You want me to talk about chill? What do you want to do?
Hi, you go for it, Paul.
I go for it. Okay. Well, chilled action next week. We got a lot of shows coming up. We already have the next 2 shows booked. Next week, we are reuniting the movie guys, Paul Preston and Adam Witt. Going to be on the same screen at the same time. Not quite as sad that they got as the Wild Berries getting split up, but they're one of my teams, so I'm glad to have them on. And then, of course, the week after that, we have, she's in the chat, actually. I saw her earlier. The one and only one of the OG Action Army members, Janine the Machine, will be making her Chill to Action debut.
Nice.
So, very much so. Nat, do you want to plug anything? Do you want AAA stuff? You know?
Yeah, and we usually do AAA Live every other Thursday. I'm not sure what the next one is going to be. Either it's going to be Thursday or Saturday because we have some scheduling issues, but we will keep you posted. AAA Live is basically our sports show that focuses on Schmoedown, where we break down competitors' strengths, their weaknesses, and we break down their kayfabe and everything. Our last episode went live a couple days ago on Saturday. We broke down Chance Ellison. That was a good one, so please go check that out.
Dan, anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, so also really quickly want to send a big thank you to everyone in the chat right now and to everyone hanging out with us and for helping us achieve that C2A 1K. We are super proud and super honored to be able to achieve that. Definitely absolutely could not do it without anyone who is in here. So March 28th is technically our pod anniversary. March 28th was
Nice.
2 years of Call to Action. So we're very much looking forward to that, and we are trying to figure out something for that anniversary. So be on the lookout for in the future for that coming along. Just trying to bring you all some wholesome content to brighten up your days. Now that a lot of people are going to be hanging out at home, so I'll be at home quite often now, and we'll be able to get some stuff out to you. So we're really excited about these next coming weeks here on Call to Action.
I'm not sure about wholesome. Wholesome is not exactly the word I would use to describe us, but I'm not in that safe for kids box very often. So.
Yeah, are you?
Very true.
Yeah.
All
Any
right.
coppa trouble?
All right. Let's see if we got anything here. Let's just Senor Sheridan. Hats off to you. Hashtag schlong. Not a question, but just a.
And a schlong to you, my friend.
Let's see. Going down. Oh, Sean Sullivan, your den mate. Question for Brett. Favorite Taco Bell menu item?
That's a great question.
Cheesy gordita crunch, my friend. Cheesy gordita crunch. Yes, an authentic Mexican cuisine. The cheesy gordita crunch.
Absolutely.
Right there with
favorite place I got. My favorite place. There's Tito's Tacos in town for like the real deal, and Benny's Tacos. But I haven't done any runs with the taco runs around downtown area and stuff like that. That's it's too far for me.
I get that. Well, you're Trash Panda. Brett, did you ever consider screenwriting?
I was always horrible at writing sketches. I was always an idea person, but like my brain, like putting together different characters and stuff like that, and it'd start with like 3 people, and then I'd forget a character and stuff like that. I'd love to be a part of. I wrote a script with some friends. I said some things and did all the writing. But I don't have the brain for capacity, not the brain as in intelligence. We all know I'm probably one of the most intelligent people on the planet, but no, it's it just doesn't. I don't know, to sit there and do that. I have too much. I go off in other directions. Sorry,
I would not argue. Intelligent person on the planet at this point. So, all right. Star Drew, has Brett seen Fled 96? The Muppets Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol.
Is that 2 different things, or
Star Drew? I don't know. I'll go. I would just ask: have you ever seen the Muppet Christmas Carol? What do you think?
I have seen the Muppets Christmas Carol. The first Muppets movie. My grandmother tried to take me to twice, and I threw up in the car both times. That's a vivid memory I have of that one. I don't know why. I don't know if I was so nervous for such a great film. But yeah, that was. I threw up in her car both times trying to go to the first Muppet movie.
And I want to thank Kelsey Kirkland for popping up these questions in the background. Thank very much our lurker. Jake Yakavetta, how are those essential oils working out for you? I tried to buy you the dumbest shit possible.
Dude, hey, I just got something today. I don't know, and I don't know if people want me to tell because I'm always, I don't want to like say that this person's giving, I don't reveal what people are giving me, but Jake, yeah, thank you. I just got something that was orange today, I will say, and I really, really appreciate it. And none of that stuff is dumb. And I think people also were thinking that I was planning for stockpiling toilet paper because I had that on my list. But I did take it off when it became an epidemic because I didn't want people to not get it anymore because people loved buying me anything toilet related. But Jake, I appreciate it. You will be getting I write thank you notes for each one. I save my these are the Amazon things you get with them, and I will write you a personal thank you note. And if you would like a shout out, if that's your thing, I can give you one on the show as well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how, again, to me, I don't know if people want to be recognized for this or if they want to keep it on the DL or whatever. But my jokey Amazon wish list has become amazing, and I'm very humbled by everybody's generosity.
Fair enough. Okay. Dragon Reborn, favorite TV show right now, Brett?
I gotta tell you, I'm liking the Vikings. I hope my wife's not watching it in there. I missed the first couple of episodes, so it was a lot of me. Why is he doing that? But yeah, I do enjoy that. And then again, we say we don't have time to watch films, and then we binge that till 2 a.m. I watched The Circle. We binged The Circle one weekend. That one was insane. And also, I love that kind of reality TV. I'm more gravitating towards shows that don't have a. I'm done with The Bachelor. Mm-hmm. I think it's icky. It used to be kind of fun to laugh at, but I think it's calculated. And I think the people that are on it now, I've talked about with my wife, is that they've planned this. They've watched this since they were kids or young adults, and they're playing characters now. They know how to get to certain things. And not that I ever thought it was truly about love, but it's icky to me now. I like stuff like I talk about the British Baking Show all the time. These people cry when the other people leave. I mean, it's really sport. The Lego Masters. That's another one I'm watching with the whole family. Now that one, people are crying when the people are getting voted for this thing. I mean, it's everybody supporting people, and I think we need more shows like that where it's just it's friendly competition.
Do you watch Love Is Blind?
I started that one and I didn't get. My wife finished it and binged it. I don't know what it was that I didn't vibe with. Yeah, it's just it's and a lot of people liked it, but I gave it a try. Yeah, she loved it.
Yeah,
trash show, but I love it so much. It's so.
My favorite running gag.
Live.
And what's your future in the Schmodown? Favorite running gag? I don't know. I like variety. I don't know if I like things to. That's why I like that. Maybe I might be getting some new impressions now and stuff like that. Today the shit you don't know shit was pretty good. That's gonna be my favorite for a while. Yeah. And my future in the Schmodown is up to Christian, and I do 100% like he said after my first match. I not that I didn't take this one seriously. I do have been like seeking out ways to actually study, because I always thought, like, how the hell do you study for this? And the studying is just me paying more attention when I'm seeing the scrolling at the end of a film, or just going on IMDb and picking out a big director and going, what has this person done? You know, what has Todd Phillips done? Let's look at that. I just watched one of his films, you know, and then kind of learning that sort of thing.
Fair enough. Level 2 trading. Brett's thoughts on Roxy's Yoda impression, or as we say now, Yota, I believe is what we call it now.
Yota, right? Yes. I think it's wonderful. I think it's amazing that she would put herself like, you know, people that say that, you know, women are afraid to look stupid, and you know, like that's what, you know, like no, that's a great impression, and I love her for doing it because it's just so horrible, and she sticks with it, and that. To me is comedy, when you don't give a shit what anybody says and you just go for it. Love you, Roxy. Keep doing it.
Oh, we love Roxy. Definitely. Definitely a Roxy fan here. So, have you seen the 2019 movie Honey Boy, Shia LaBeouf's semi-autobiography? So amazing, so many feels. I think you might love it. It's free on Prime.
Yeah, that's one I've been looking to. Again, it took my wife and I a while to get to the Joker, or is it just Joker? See, that's why I'm good at this. Because I do that. I do want to kind of have a more lighthearted evening. You know, you get the kids to bed, you've had a stressful day, and it's tough to go to something that's going to be heavy. And I feel like that one might be a little heavy for me. And, you know, I want to get around to it, but I that one's been one I've been kind of like, oh, I do, but I don't. Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's the kind of movie that you have to be in the right mood for.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's tough. It's I don't think I'm in the mood for those things a lot, because there's, especially what's going on recently. It's nice to laugh and not feel so I'm not watching any pandemic films these days either.
Contagion or Outbreak or anything like that.
Nothing of that nature.
Outbreak is like trending on Netflix. It's like one of the top 10 movies on Netflix right now.
Oh, I bet 100%. Yeah. Hey, and if that's if that's what you like, go for it. Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta lean into it, I guess. Justin Hamilton. Every time I see you, I know it's not easy, but you smile and make it through it. More of us should be like that, and you're amazing for doing it. Just letting you know we see that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's yeah. I mean, I gotta say, I'm doing a lot better, and I think that therapy and seeing a psychiatrist and actually, I look back at some of my old stand-up notes, and I used to just write down thoughts and things like that and poems. And, I mean, I was, 23 when I moved out here, and all I wanted was to find a wife and, or even a girlfriend at the time. And I was an angry, kind of bitter young man because I thought that I could make it in this town. And I found out really quick that it's kind of a lottery. But I could bounce back a lot faster. And as I got older, the bounce back wasn't there, and I wasn't being there for my children. I don't feel like, so it was, and I will say it's never been for me. And I hope it isn't for anyone else. And if you feel that way, please reach out to somebody. But I always want to live the best life. I don't want to die. I don't want to kill myself. I want everybody to feel good about themselves and want to just have a better life. And it doesn't mean having money or having anything else. It's just like taking what you have and knowing that you're in the right place where you're supposed to be. My sister told me that. She says, I said, well, if I would have done this, I would have done that. She says, no, you're right where you need to be right now, and you need to embrace that. So that's I just knocked my headphones. Really way to drive that really sentimental thing home. Yeah, keep your heads up. It does get better. It gets better. It gets bad. It gets, but don't hide. That's all. Don't hide from people.
Yeah,
I'll second that too. If anybody ever needs anybody, my inbox is usually open. Also,
yeah. There are people. I think a lot of people actually think, they say, well, I'm all alone. But I've said this on the show before. There are communities like what you have created. The Action Army. I mean, that's you've created a community of people that have an interest and that you in the traveling and the doing all that. Like there you can find it. And in this day and age with the internet, you can find it a lot easier. You're not stuck out in the middle of the country, with a book, and those people were alone.
Yeah.
Those people who couldn't get into town, and went to get groceries everywhere. Those people were truly alone. You're not alone. There are a lot of resources.
And that's why I say this is the good thing about the internet these days. There's some bad out there, but this kind of connection can be made, and it's good for everybody.
And I feel like there can be a shift. I don't know. I think like what you guys do and what we're trying to do sometimes. We're if we can shift this. I know sometimes we like to go off on troll comments and and make fun of it, but I try to back away from that a little bit more. If you go back to some of my earlier schmozdo things, I had a few red-faced rants about things like that, and my wife said, you better not do that anymore, your heart's going to stop. So I kind of dialed that back a little bit.
Fair enough. Camshaft, what would be an ideal acting vehicle for you?
You know what, it's weird how things change. When I first was acting, I did theater, but I really wanted to be in film. But I did theater because that was the only thing available to me. You wouldn't have caught me dead in my 18-year-old mind of doing commercials or something on Disney or something like that. Right now, please just make me a dad on a Disney sitcom. Oh, I would just love. Those people look like they're having so much fun. I was watching the Thundermans with and I'm just like, this guy, he was a commercial actor, the dad on that one. And I was just like, that's a fun job. He's probably not getting mobbed by people, and he goes to work and just plays every day. And that's, to me, I don't need to be Brad Pitt, or Zach Galifianakis or anything like that. I put Brad Pitt in there as if that was ever going to be a thing. I think the Zach Galifianakis thing would have been closer to Jack Black, but I anything that just I enjoy going to, and anything acting wise.
I do think a lot of people are saying you would be perfect as a Disney dad. I would second that. I would
love it.
As a Disney dad.
Doesn't have to be Disney, any platform. I mean, but it's all going to be owned by one of those at some point. That's something to plug. Just famous sauerkraut. It would spruce up your hot dog. It kills poorly.
I'd be scared of that, guys. I don't know what that magic ingredient is going to be. I might be a little bit scared of that. Oh boy. Yeah, Nina versus Kaiser would make the better sauerkraut hot dog. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. A kraut doesn't settle with me these days either. I used to do a mean kraut brat with the Guinness and just can't do it anymore. Yeah.
Good stuff. Peggy Goodman's the Bears. I love Peggy's a big Chicago Bears fan, so I have to commiserate with her right now. If you had to bunk up with 4 other Schmodown competitors these next few weeks, who do you choose?
Wow. Jeez, that's really putting me on the spot. There's a bunch of people that get mad at me for this one. No, I'd say definitely Kate. Kate and I giggle so much, and we're definitely having an affair. So then we could, do that in that bunk up. We're not having an affair. Kate, Christian, and Mark probably. Are they Schmodown? They're not competitors, but God, I don't know. There's so many people I love hanging out with. Yeah.
Tim Franco says he's a great cook, so that might be able to help you out and make that.
Okay, well, maybe that. Yeah. I don't. I just picked people I know. I think bunking up. Maybe we have a few dates first, but bunking up with anybody that I've only met a couple times right now probably wouldn't be the best.
Fair enough. Freddie Concepcion, what did Brett think of the Deadwood movie?
I didn't see it. What did you guys see? I loved Deadwood. I didn't see the movie. That one kind of, because my wife didn't watch the series, so I mean, not to brag, but I did do a sketch show with John Hawkes when he was just off of Deadwood. If you want to check Acme, and I wrote a sketch about for him that he approved, but he was kind of leery about, where I was trying to pitch a pampered pet store in Deadwood, and he's kind of like, I think the people of Deadwood probably need food for themselves more than luxury food for their animals. I'm like, don't you think like a cute little satchel to carry your dog around, and I'm like, I don't think this is going to work. So check that out. It's an old Acme thing, but I did not see it. Did any of you see the Deadwood film?
I never actually got the chance to watch Deadwood. It's in my queue. It's something I want to go back to eventually, but
it's a tough one. It's the language. I loved it. It was like vulgar Shakespearean. It was like the way they talked, and I think a lot of people said they didn't say fuck back then. They did. They said lots of dirty words, but they also spoke grammatically more eloquent at times too. Even the lower class had a better grammar than we do these days, I believe. And I don't know, it made me feel smart kind of watching it sometimes.
Fair enough. Okay. Brian Fernandez, I don't have any questions for Brett, but wanted to let you know that your all's content keeps me going every day. Right now I'm going through a big tragedy I went through yesterday. I needed some laughs today.
I'm sorry, but thank you. I'm glad you're getting the laughs you need.
Brian, we know Brian, he's a good fan of C2A, and of course, inboxes are always open for you, Brian, at any time. So, how about any more there, Kelsey? Anything coming up, or are we good? No, yes, no.
Just too many to pick from.
Too many to pick from. I think that's
it.
Like
we can't do a 5-hour show. We got to just scroll some of these. They only have to be very pertinent.
God, that's right. Just so everybody, I was seeing the chat. My cat, yes, I was petting the cat. He gets enough attention. He's a pain in the ass. I love him. Indiana Jones, Marty McFly gets his attention. Trust
What
me.
do you think? Am I a cat man or a dog man? There's a question for you.
Ooh, this or that.
I'm gonna go with cat.
I'm gonna go with cat man. I'm gonna say I think you should almost seem like a dog man, but I think it's a trick question. I think you're
I'm
cat
gonna say dog just to be different.
I'm a cat. I had a cat for 19 years. I had a picture of a cat when I was a small child, and we had to put her down when I was in college. It was tough. Yeah. And then we had when I met my wife, she had a cat, and I was definitely allergic to it, but I was also in love, so I continued to go to her house and almost die on regular occasions, and I built up an immunity to her cat, and we had that cat for a while, but she passed away like a couple years ago, and I don't know. It's tough. This last one was pretty tough for me. I don't know if my daughter wants a pet, and I'm like, can we start with like fish or something right now? I don't know if I can handle another pet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's tough to have a pet. Like, it's great for those times you're there, but I actually the same way as a cat. I would deathly allergic to cats, deathly. But you get used to their own dander, and you get to be okay with it.
Yeah.
I've had 5 or 6 cats now, so.
I loved in Nebraska when we could let the cat outside and would wander. Like being in an apartment in LA, it was a totally different thing because my cat back home would just wander. Sometimes she wouldn't come home for a couple days, and we'd go, "Oh, look! Oh, you're back. Cool. You're hungry, I guess. Oh, thank you for the 2 little rabbit feet you left on the porch. Thank you for that present."
Yeah, they love giving those things, don't they?
Yeah, that's a present for the owner. Just a bit of the carcass left for you.
I guess we do have a few Facebook questions people posted on our Facebook page. I believe it was Garth Murray says, well, a huge fan of the Guild, as we talked about earlier. Has there ever been talk from Felicia Day and others about a possible reunion or a one-shot special episode or anything like that?
I haven't heard anything. Maybe they're doing it without me, but I haven't heard anything.
How dare they?
I know. I missed when Felicia was on. She did Collider Live episode. I sent her a DM, and I was like, "How dare you come on when I'm not there?"
That's bullshit. What else we got from the Facebook page? We have from Teddy Francis. How would you do in a zombie apocalypse?
How would I do in a zombie apocalypse? I think I'd do all right. I'm pretty handy. I think my handiness would kick in. I don't know. I don't have guns in the house. I mean, I grew up in a place where there was a gun every 5 feet, but not in my home, but my grandfather's. But I think I could whittle a few things. I have tools here. I have a reciprocating saw that might work well in a zombie apocalypse, and I think I have a hatchet for some reason. I don't know why. I haven't been chopping any wood in quite some time. But
you never know when you have to.
Maybe that's my zombie apocalypse thing. I don't think the Nerf guns my son has will be too handy, but maybe we could find a way to put little poisonous things at the end of those.
Perfect. Let's see. Ben Rayner is a big fan of all of us, I guess. Thank you, Ben. Out of your impersonations, you mentioned what your favorite was. What do you have a least favorite that you've been asked to do that you're kind of not feeling anymore? Maybe
not yet. No, I mean it hasn't got to the point, and if people are still enjoying it, I'm fine with doing it. My least favorite thing is when I go, oh shit, how am I going to do this? Like if it gets a little too spelled out for me, and I don't know the movie they're wanting me to go he's in this film. I don't know that film, so I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Just a quick there. Kill the zombies with the cast iron. I like that idea.
True. That's I do have one that I could barely lift. The one I took the picture with. That's the 2-hander right there. So I'd be using the smaller ones to do that. Absolutely. And still cooking with the larger one.
Perfect. Yeah. Kelsey did have a few other questions. Okay, Brett, thoughts on coronavirus shutting down porn sites and films?
How dare they? I think everybody really needs to. Even porn sites need to be cautious. I think we
break.
Everybody needs to take a break.
That is true. Friday Concepcion, can Brett come on the action, guys?
Now, what did everybody think of that bit? Was that funny, or was the?
Oh, I love that. That was hilarious.
It's just the phrasing was so, and that's what I love about Kate is that it's just clipped right in. We went for it, but it was just we wouldn't let him live it down, and that was a fun moment. She's like, no, but seriously, for work. I mean, could you?
When I tried to actually had to explain that to Ben and Drew, I was talking about it. He's like, "Well, what is that? What is he talking about?" It's like,
yeah.
That's
Those are those moments where I'm like, oh, I'm so glad my mom watches all of these. What did you mean when you said DP? Google it, Mom. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna explain some of these things to you. You're cool and all, but you have the Urban Dictionary at your hand. Why don't you you do that instead of making me explain some of these things?
Internet. Saul, hey Brett, what motivates you more, gaining something or losing something?
Ooh, I don't know.
I like that question.
That is tough because, like, loss. The loss I've had recently has not been too motivating. Those are the things that have put me in my depression. So I would say gaining things. I think not like monetary, but just gaining the strength to work out, or to like finding that, like getting back into the swing of I would take just a walk for a half hour to 45 minutes every night, and that's so gaining the ability to get out of the house. That's always a big thing that I need to do more of. But yeah, loss. I've had enough loss lately. I want some more gaining.
Now, deep thoughts with Saul. Yes,
thank you, Saul. Thank you.
Director of photography. That's what you.
That's right. Yes, it's a Holloway thing. Yes.
All right. I think that's all the questions at this point, Kelsey. Right? Anything else? We get to go, Danny?
Good. Yeah, I think that's it, y'all. Woo!
Did I win? Did I win the show? No.
I think honestly, I would say during your impressions, you probably had the most full-on laughs per. So.
I mean, when I agreed to come on the show, I did not expect the drunk Elmo. So
I love that. I can't wait to do that one. That one definitely spiced up the drunk one, and I think I'm pretty sure we'll get a couple of those in there.
I can guarantee it. Knowing the people who are talking about it, I can guarantee it. So.
Absolutely. Make sure that you check out Brett Sheridan on SEN Live on the SEN network. Please do that as well. To everyone inside of the chat, thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you all for hanging out with all of us. And happy Monday to each and every single one of y'all. Paul, you got something to plug?
I do want to say this real quick.
Hi, Mom. That's really my mom.
That's a celebrity in the chat right there.
I've had to explain a lot of vulgar jokes to my mother. And a lot of things that, like, and in comments people make that I didn't even come up with. Like, this guy said he would walk through a desert full of glass to sniff one of your farts. What does he mean? I'm like, I don't know. Why would you even repeat that to me? Well, is that a good thing, or
well,
she's gonna ask me why I didn't tell her I was on right now. I forgot to give her a link. I bet that's what she's asking me.
Well,
show. You should be sleeping. It's 10 o'clock at night here. It's midnight in Nebraska.
Well, welcome, Mama Sheridan, to the show. We hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Mom.
All right. Anyway, Daddy, what we were saying at this point, you're wrapping up.
We are wrapping it up tonight, y'all. This was such a fun episode of Chill. Nat, do you have anything to plug? Where can we find you, my sweet babe?
You can find me on Twitter at NattyIce44, and I'm Nat Vu on Facebook. You can also catch me on AAA Live every other week.
Woo! Paul, what about you? Let me get them socials.
At Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. Also on www.patreon.com/Team Action. For Ben and Drew, I run that Patreon, help keep me employed by them. We're doing a lot of new cool tiers with them, a lot of background, behind the scenes Schmodown stuff, the Captain's Cabetta, a lot of stuff coming up that's really fun. I'll also quickly plug Class Action, it's a show I do on Action Industries on their channel with Richard Derek Jarvie, as well as I opened up my own YouTube show recently, PLD Projects. Have fun, Star Wars show, V show, all that good stuff. So, salute.
All right.
Follow me. You can find me on Twitter at DannyJoy, DANNDANIEEJOY.
How do you spell your name? Tell us once again. Spell your name one more time for me.
I can't ever spell my name right. I can't get it right. DANIEEJOY. That's how you spell it.
There we go.
On Twitter, I did it. Woo! You can find me there on Twitter. You can find me here every Monday with my lovely co-host, Mr. Paul Denuzio, on Chill to Action, on the Call to Action Network. All of that good, great stuff. Make sure that you follow our Twitter account, Call to Action Pod on Twitter. Make sure that you follow our Instagram account, Call to Action Podcast. Alex and Kelsey are on there. Call to Action Live every Sunday. Woo!
I had to pinch it for Kelsey on Sunday, and I'd rather Kelsey host it again because it's more fun when Kelsey hosts. Trust me, Kelsey's great. We love her. Thank you, Kelsey, for being behind the scenes and throwing up those comments and making our show run smooth as heck. So
yeah,
I'm sorry for missed mine if you don't like. What was?
Brett.
I know you.
Brett Sheridan, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us on this Monday night. Brett, tell us where we can find you. Plug anything that you need to plug. Let us know what we need to watch.
Cash me outside. How about that? I don't plug well, but I'm at Mr. Wiggly on the Twitter and on the Instagram, and I occasionally post things. And you can just catch me on CN Live as much as possible. And I really appreciate you guys having me on. I know that we talked about it a long time ago, and I think maybe I dropped the ball because I didn't really reach out to anybody because I was like, I feel, I don't know. I'm like, that's kind of conceited to go, hey, when you have me on your show. But I did have a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right. So very, very fun time all. And all throughout the Cinefanatics have been in our chat. They're big Call to Action fans and they're here a lot. So also tomorrow night on their channel, the Tagline Live, support those boys. They're really, really making great content as well. So with that being said, we love you all and we'll see you later on. We all salute you. Take care, everybody.